Just think, a couple of months ago, our group didn't even exist. But now, with the help of our music teacher, Mr. Dobson, things were really starting to click.
Sometimes the sound created by a group is more effective than what any of the players could do separately.
It's like that in the human body, too. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. From the smallest cell to the largest organ, each has its own vital job. But as a group, they accomplish things that no individual part can do alone. The key to that orchestrated effort is working together. 'Cause this isn't a rehearsal. This is the human body in action.
Everything needs a foundation. In music, it's rhythm. For an organism like the human body, the foundation is the cell.
Even though they're microscopic, there's nothing small about the work cells do. Each one carries out all the processes that allow us to live and grow.
All cells take in food and turn it into energy. They also eliminate waste and build the proteins that make new cells. Trillions of cells make up your body, and each is specially equipped to perform a particular task.
Similar cells group together to form tissues.
Like nerve cells that join together to form nerve tissue, which sends and receives electrochemical impulses. Or liver cells that form liver tissue, which breaks down and recycles chemicals.
Tissues group together to form organs.
Whether you're talking the heart or lungs, the liver or the brain, each organ performs a particular function.
Organs work together in systems to carry out specific duties. And it's those organ systems that keep your body in the swing of things. Let's get down to the bare bones and have a look at the skeletal system.
If you think bones aren't very lively, think again. Made up of millions of specialized cells, the 206 bones in your body are very much alive.
Without a skeleton, we'd all be as floppy as jellyfish. But body shape is just one of many roles that bones play.
Like mighty shields, your rib cage and skull protect crucial organs, including your heart, lungs, and brain. Like warehouses, your bones store vital minerals, such as calcium and phosphorus. And like factories, bones produce your blood at a remarkable rate. In the red marrow of certain bones, millions of new blood cells are pumped out every second.
Finally, our skeletons help us move in hundreds of different ways.
To get ahead, you gotta bend. That requires a joint, the place where two bones meet. Try to walk without using your knees. You won't go far. To prevent bones from grinding against each other, their ends are capped with cartilage, the same tough stuff that gives shape to your ears and nose.
What's connecting it all? Connective tissue, of course. Tough cord-like tissue called ligaments lash bone to bone.
Justin's solid, powerful sax gives our music muscle.
And it's the muscular system that gives the human body power and stability. The 600+ muscles in your body keep you running fast, jumping high, and standing tall and straight.
A muscle contracts and relaxes, shortening and then returning to its original state. As they contract, they pull on the bones they're attached to and make you move.
Your biceps muscle bends your arm. Its partner in movement is the triceps muscle.
When the biceps muscle contracts, the triceps muscle relaxes and the arm bends. To straighten it back out, the triceps muscle contracts and the biceps relaxes.
Now that's teamwork. Muscles are masters of coordination. Even a smile requires the unified efforts of up to 30 separate facial muscles.
The vast majority of your muscles are voluntary muscles. Using voluntary muscles, you can raise a carrot to your mouth and chew it. Once you swallow that carrot, your involuntary muscles come into play. They push the food along through no conscious effort of your own.
No involuntary muscle is more important than your heart. A tireless pump, it beats more than 2 billion times over the course of your life. The ultimate timekeeper, the heart is also the engine of your circulatory system.
In addition to the heart, the circulatory system includes all of the body's blood and blood vessels. Blood is your body's delivery and pickup service. It brings vital nutrients and oxygen to every single one of your body's trillions of cells and takes away their waste products. Blood travels through a vast network of blood vessels.
In fact, if you could spread out all the blood vessels in the human body, they'd stretch more than 100,000 kilometers. That's like circling the Earth more than twice.
All blood vessels are not created equal. There are 3 different types. Arteries carry oxygen-rich blood away from the heart, and veins carry oxygen-poor blood back to the heart. The smallest blood vessels of all, the capillaries, connect arteries to veins. As it flows along the blood vessel highway, blood touches every other system in the body. But one of its most important stops is gas exchange central, the respiratory system.
What a breath of fresh air! Every time you inhale, you take in oxygen, which cells need to release energy from food. Every time you exhale, you release carbon dioxide, which cells produce as a waste gas.
The lungs are the main organs of the respiratory system. Each lung contains more than 300 million balloon-like sacs called alveoli. The oxygen you breathe into your lungs passes through the alveoli walls into capillaries and into your blood. At the same time, carbon dioxide from your blood passes from the capillaries into the alveoli. That carbon dioxide is sent out of your body through the mouth and nose every time you exhale.
The lungs are kind of like the crossroads between the circulatory and respiratory systems.
People cannot live on oxygen alone, and neither can their cells. Bodies need nutrients, substances your cells use for energy, growth, and repair. A lot of these nutrients come from the food you eat.
Reducing food to nutrients in a form your cells can use is the job of the digestive system. After all, a single cell can't handle a plate full of spaghetti. It can only absorb molecule-sized morsels.
Digestion begins in the mouth. Teeth and saliva start breaking food down before sending it on to the stomach.
Then it's onto the small intestine, where the usable nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream to be carried to all the body's cells. What's left over gets a one-way ticket to the excretory system.
The excretory system is the wizard of waste. It not only rids the body of all the stuff left over from the digestive process, it also takes care of cellular waste products.
Waste gases, like carbon dioxide, are exhaled through your lungs. Liquid waste is filtered out of the blood by the kidneys and is expelled as urine.
Some liquid and salts leave as perspiration through the sweat glands of the skin. And solid waste exits the body through the anus.
Removing waste may not seem like a glamorous job, but somebody's got to do it. Without the excretory system, a mountain of poisons would build up in your body.
Hold on to your history books. Here comes a body blast from the past. From ancient times, there was much speculation, but little scientific research into how the body works. More than 2,000 years ago, the Greeks thought that the heart gave the body heat and that arteries contained air. Then, in the 1500s, a Flemish surgeon named Andreas Vesalius made the first detailed study of the human body. Through dissection and direct observation, he revolutionized medical science. For his groundbreaking contributions, Vesalius is often called the father of anatomy.
Kim was playing like she was on fire. The band was really hot.
In the human body, it's the immune system that heats things up. The immune system fights disease and infection by protecting us from pathogens.
Pathogens are what we usually call germs. Though they're mainly microscopic organisms, they can make you big-time sick.
Like a fortress, your immune system equips your body with barriers to prevent pathogen invasions.
To a germ, your skin is a tough wall, and with nearly 6 square meters of skin on the average adult, it's really got you covered, too. Wherever there's an opening, like your mouth, nose, ears, and eyes, the immune system is waiting. The body's chemical weapons, saliva, mucus, tears, and stomach juices, turn back pathogens trying to sneak in the body's doorways.
If a germ does get in, the soldiers of the immune system, the white blood cells, go on the attack. They let loose their heavy artillery, antibodies. Antibodies also serve as a homing device for the immune system's commando force, special white blood cells that seek out and destroy pathogens tagged by antibodies.
White blood cells are a great example of how the body's systems work together. Though they're part of the blood, they're produced by bone marrow, as well as organs of the immune system. The body's systems are controlled by the nervous system, and command central is the brain.
Composed of hundreds of millions of nerve cells called neurons, the human brain has more memory and is far more complex than any computer.
Our brains make it possible for us to reason and speak, love and create, remember and dream.
The brain also controls balance and coordinated movement, as well as regulating our heartbeat and breathing.
The brain interfaces with the body through the spinal cord, the original information highway. Messages are constantly sent to and from your brain on a network of neurons that stretches from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. The brain receives and interprets all the data picked up by our senses: our sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell.
It happens in the blink of an eye. Electrochemical signals zip along at speeds faster than a racing motorcycle. Another communication network in the body is the endocrine system. It uses chemical messengers, called hormones, to carry instructions to all of the body's organs. Traveling in your bloodstream, hormones reach every part of your body.
Among other things, hormones tell your body when to grow taller and how quickly to release stored energy.
The endocrine system also releases hormones that trigger the organs of the reproductive system to develop. During the time called puberty, both boys' and girls' bodies go through some incredible changes. It's the body's way of preparing to have babies, to reproduce. Just because the reproductive system is mature doesn't mean a person is. Babies are a huge responsibility.
The reproductive system is essential for the survival of the entire human species. That's kind of strange when you consider that it's the only body system that isn't needed for the survival of an individual person.
From your bones to your hormones. Your body is made up of some extraordinary parts, but it takes all of them working together to create a fully functioning human.
Can one body system really affect all the others? We visited with science star Vinay Nadkarni to find out.
My name is Vinay Nadkarni. I'm a pediatric intensive care doctor. I take care of children who require mechanical ventilators or breathing support, and who are quite sick but frequently get better. The main systems in the body include the brain, the thinking, the lungs, which you breathe with, the heart, which pumps blood, the liver and the kidneys, which break down food and excrete the waste for you. It's very important to try to maintain a balance of all of the systems in your body. The organs are constantly striving for a balance so that if you're going too far in one direction, they sort of pull you back and steer you back on course. They all interact, and there's a whole system of communication within the body. Some of it is on a large scale, and some of them are little tiny signals. There can be chemical sensors, mechanical sensors, visual sensors, and these feed back. The body can get out of balance in a lot of different ways. And it can either be because there's one system that's way out of whack, like if you break your arm, or it can be more like an infection that travels throughout the whole body in general. When one system of the body starts to fail, it has a dramatic effect on the other systems. Fortunately, there's a lot of overlap in the systems, so that one system starts to fail, the other systems try to pick up the load. Let's say you don't eat something for the whole day and your blood sugar starts to drop. The liver can create a sugar source for your body. In fact, in children, that happens quite frequently. A well-organized medical team is like a healthy body. We could not function without every team member contributing some sort of information. For instance, at the bedside of every critically ill child, we would have a respiratory therapist who helps us manage the amount of air that the child's breathing in and out. We would have a nurse who's monitoring the heart rate and the blood pressure. We would have the surgeon if they had something that required surgery, a physical therapist who would help us position the child and make sure that their muscles and that system was in order. We have a nutritionist who helps tell us what kinds of food would be most appropriate and when we're giving enough and when we're giving too much. And then we, as the physician, are the coordinator of all of that so that there's a team approach. And what's important there is reading the body system signals and then taking action so that you can get those systems to work again together. The art of medicine is balancing those signals so that the child will function as a whole and come back into balance.
Is the whole really greater than the sum of its parts? Here's a busybody demonstration that puts it all together.
For this demonstration, you'll need a group of kids, blindfolds, a small plastic bucket full of water, and a few other gadgets we'll get to in a minute. Now spread out, but stand close enough so that your fingers touch. Draw a circle around each kid's feet to mark their position. Get nice and loose. You'll be doing some physical work here. Each kid represents a different system. The challenge is for all the systems to work together to get a job done.
Like the systems of the body work together to keep us healthy.
Right. In this case, a small bucket of water must be moved from person to person, first kid to the last, without spilling a drop.
Here's the catch. Each system has special abilities and limitations, like the systems of the body do. This first boy can only use his hands and not his feet. The next kid in line can only use her feet and not her hands. The third kid must keep a tray in both hands at all times. The next kid in line can use her hands, but only behind her back. The last kid in line has to use a ruler instead of her hands. And just to keep things interesting, let's blindfold them.
I think we'd better give our group a communication system. Our leader will be the only one who can see and move around freely, and the only one who can talk. He'll be giving instructions to the rest of you to help you accomplish your goal. Well, looks like we're ready. Go! And remember, you have to pass the bucket down the line without spilling a drop.
All right, you did it!
By communicating and using each person's special skills, you achieve something none of you could have done alone. In fact, if just one kid had been missing, the goal could not have been reached.
That's how the body's systems work too. All with different jobs and abilities, but working together for one objective, a healthy human body. Every day, in every way, your body gets it together. Think of all the body systems that come into play just in the simple act of riding a bike.
Most obvious are your skeletal and muscular systems. The bones and muscles in your legs are working hard to keep those pedals turning.
That extra effort spurs your circulatory and respiratory systems into high gear. Breathing deep, you fill your lungs with oxygen, which is picked up by red blood cells and taken to your heart. Your heart pumps that oxygen-rich blood to the cells in those hard-working leg muscles. After delivering their oxygen, the blood cells pick up carbon dioxide and take it back to the lungs to be exhaled.
All the while, your nervous system is constantly sending messages to your brain. Say your eyes are alerted to a sign up ahead. The brain tells the muscles of your hands to apply the brakes and bring the bike to a stop.
Sometimes, messages get sent to your brain that trigger an emergency response. A gland in the endocrine system releases a hormone that helps you react quickly.
The endocrine system also tells the reproductive system when to develop and function.
If you should get sick or hurt, the immune system will race to the rescue. White blood cells will hurry to the injury, ready to attack any pathogens.
As soon as the senses of sight and smell tell the brain that food's on the way, the digestive system goes to work. Your mouth waters with saliva in anticipation of a great big delicious bite.
Even as Eric gets back to work, his digestive system is still busy. It's breaking that food down into molecule-sized morsels. Nutrients are absorbed into the bloodstream, while the leftovers are delivered to the excretory system, along with other waste products.
Whoa, we were definitely in the groove. I couldn't believe how the band had gelled. We were ready to perform.
The cells, tissues, and organs of your body are an incredible team of systems. Each has its part to play.
Like a complex machine, the body can only function properly when every system is up and running. And when they all work together, you have something completely amazing. The human body in action.